everybody. Da-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na.
Oh, okay. The X-Men? Yes. We can copyright one day. Just because you did the rhythm and all that.
No. TM. Disney, I don't know anything. I promise.
She came up with that herself. She had no clue what she was referencing, guys.
I don't have any idea. Nothing. Absolutely. Who am I? Where am I? I have amnesia. Anyway, hi, I'm Lisa, everybody, also known as Nocturne. And we have the beautiful and lovely with me as well, my co-host.
What's up, guys? It's Lauren, your friendly neighborhood bye. And let me tell you, anytime I can start out with that great new song you just created, it's going to be a great time.
And the best part is we're not even talking about the original series. We're talking about the movie. So what?
Yep. Well, to be fair, it's not like they had a theme or anything that was cared about or known. So, can we just transfer a theme? Like, we'll just transfer this for all the X-Men content.
To be fair, I honestly can only ever think of the original theme when I think of X-Men content, period. Like when I'm doing the X-Men Evolution podcast, which P.S. I do have an X-Men Evolution podcast if you want to look for it. It's called Podcast Evo. When I'm doing the X-Men Evolution podcast, I can never remember the Evolution theme. I can only remember da-na-na-na-na. And you guys can't see this, but I'm like doing a dance move too.
It's a whole show you guys are missing. One day we'll have to do like a live reveal on Twitter or something.
Oh God, then I have to put pants on. No. All right. What are we talking about?
Well, today we're talking about what the heck we want Kurt to look like if he ever manages to make it to the MCU. That's right, not the Fox films, not what we've gotten, but if, and, hopefully when they put him in the MCU.
I was about to correct you, girl. I'm like, when, girl, if, oh my God, if, burn this place to the ground, if. Oh, Inferno. They don't know Inferno. If. All right. Come on. If. Jeez.
They're worried about Mystique causing an Inferno. Have they met us?
Exactly. We're coming. We're just going to show up. Oh my gosh. Disney, be ready. We're coming. Oh my gosh. Please, Disney, don't sue me. Please. I have nothing.
We all just want the best interpretations of our characters, right? And it's so hard because we're so used to the comics and how we see them there, and even the comics change the interpretations of characters we love, right? But not only does that happen, but then when you go to live action, things have to change sometimes, right? Like that's an argument, people that make films and TV will always say, right? We had to change it because of reasons for this format, and that's valid. But how can we get Kurt right? Because I know we have not got him right yet in any of the live action stuff. So how can the MCU get him right?
I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there, and I guarantee I'm going to get a lot of people disagreeing. We need more women working on the movies, number one. Because, okay, we're going to talk about this in a future episode that we're going to record very shortly. But one of the things about Kurt that I think that the movies really did not capture is that Kurt is not supposed to be ugly. He's supposed to be a weird looking hot guy. Like he's supposed to be a hot guy who happens to be blue and have a tail. That's the idea of him. And I don't know why the movies decided that it's like he's actually going to be this like gross guy who doesn't even know how to take care of his nails because they're all yellow. I mean, come on, the guy knows how to take care of his hygiene. Enough with this, all right? I will say, like, I do think that some of the decisions they had to make in the beginning were decisions they made because of constraints to technology. So, for example, I think that the reason that Mystique in the movies has the scales, and the reason that Kurt in the movies has the scars is because I do not think at the time they could convincingly do blue skin and without any texture. I think it would have looked. I think at the time the technology to do the makeup artistry, what they would have looked like Smurfs, and I think that's why they needed some kind of texture in their skin in order to give that realism. And I think that's why they, like, if you look at all of the characters who have like an odd skin tone in those original X-Men movies, they did something with them. So I
Yeah, I
think that's
mean,
part of it.
yeah, and I mean to that specific note, so like if you talk about X2, right? Like and actually that's my favorite live action Nightcrawler we've gotten so far. Not that that is the Kurt I want, but that's the best one I've seen of all the X-Men films because but
I didn't hate the new
when
one,
he
but
Alan Cumming was a fantastic cast choice as him. I completely support that casting. But anyways, with the markings, I remember in the film he specifically says those are markings he did because they have to do with his religious stuff. I think for MCU Kurt, I do not want him to be such a seen as so religious that he's basically a cult or a cult leader. That's not Kurt. That's not how he views religion. And that's how I felt they did him in X2. So in the MCU, I don't want that. What I want is for him to be somebody who, yeah, he does very much believe in his religion. He is incredibly spiritual. That's a huge part of his character. And he uses that in ways that fit his character, right? And even more so when you talked about the looks, right? He's not supposed to be ugly. He's supposed to still be attractive, but still creepy. This isn't. I agree with you on that, and some people might say, oh well, that's just superficial. It's not though. And the thing about Kurt that we're also going to talk about in a lot of our episodes is he has this great balance between masculinity and femininity. Not that he's specifically androgynous or anything, but he has this nice balance to both, and that adds to his appeal for all audiences regardless of your gender. That really does have an appeal to that, and so I want Kurt to have that balance in his character in the MCU, recognizing all these different sides to his masculinity and his femininity as a man.
oh
Like
yeah,
that's a huge part of him, and that needs to be done correctly in the MCU.
100%. And it's like they also need to find a better balance between the religious side and literally the rest of him. So when X2 came out, that was like at the height of Nightcrawler's religiosity in the comics, really, because that was right after the big reveal that he had become a priest, and which came out of nowhere. It was just like, oh, he's a priest now, which is kind of funny because in Chuck Austin's book, when he retcons the whole priest thing, literally
Mm-hmm.
all the X-Men are like, when did that happen? When did you become a priest? And he's like, you were there, guys. Like, you came to my freaking priest graduation or whatever the hell they call it. Anyway, we'll talk about that one of these days. Um, so so I guess it made sense at the time that like that was the biggest thing happening for him in the books. So let's do that in the comic. But what's kind of funny is, I'm sorry, that was the biggest thing happening in the comics. So let's do that in the movie. But what's kind of funny about that is Chuck Austin did a side story to the X2 movie that was completely a different character from the one that was in the movie, and was also really weird because it infers that like a bunch of guards watched Kurt have fake sex with his sister. Oh, go read it. It's weird. It is weird. It's
I don't really want to read that, to be fair.
all right. Laura doesn't have to. Everybody else, go read it. It's the X2. It's the X2 companion. It's so weird. It's like they capture Kurt and then they you know how like they had the juice they were taken out of the juice that they were taken out of Jason that they were using to like
Yeah.
to control everybody. So that was part of it. They were using the juice to make Kurt believe that he saw Amanda, but at one point like they start making out, and then like at one point it like cuts to the guards and the guards are like, "Oh, this is happening." And it's just like, "Are we watching
This
uh,
sounds like a really bad fanfic that everybody trashes, but the author will never delete for some reason.
welcome to Chuck Austin's X-Men. It's a ride from start to finish, and I do not want to get off. Let me tell you, it is batshit,
Jesus.
but it's amazing. We're gonna cover all of it, and I'm gonna
Well,
I'm
I,
I'm
I
gonna
feel like
make
we're gonna have
you.
to have an episode on Chuck Austin's X-Men alone because there's a lot I need to be educated on, and I think you are the best one to
We're
educate
gonna
me.
have a season on Chuck Austin's X-Men. Are you kidding
Jesus.
me? Like,
Oh
we're gonna
God.
have a
It's
season.
gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna be terrifying. But that's a lot of kind of what we don't want. And I would like to
Yes.
take, me included, right? Try for us to take the approach more of what do we want? So what does an MCU Kurt that's done well look right? Like we talked about how a balance between masculinity and femininity. We've talked about balancing his religious side with literally every other part of him, which is true. So what are the other parts of him, for you at least, Lisa, that you think they need to get right and emphasize that they haven't done yet?
I need a Kurt that is strong in his faith but fallible. I need a Kurt that has 3 swords. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when he comes to fight, he brings all 3 of his swords. Like, there's not been a single sword in any movie. He's been in 3 movies, and there's not been a single
Where's his
sword.
sword?
Where are his swords?
Where's
I mean,
his sword?
to be fair, like, none of the Fox movies have really set up sword battle yet. So, okay, fair enough. But like he is in so some of the things that I feel like they really have not brought into the MC or not the MCU, but have brought into the movies is like he is an accomplished swordsman. He is an accomplished pilot. He is Wolverine's best friend. That I need. I desperately need Wolverine and Nightcrawler's
Yes.
friendship to be in the movie. And I it almost felt like in X2 it would have gone there if he had stayed, but like Alan Cumming wasn't coming back. He made that fucking clear. Like he hated the makeup so much and he was not shy about it. Like literally every single if you go back and read all of Alan Cumming's publicity for or all the interviews he did for X2, there are like 2 consistents in every single interview he did. He loves to talk about how much he fucking hated the makeup, and he loves to talk about how him and Ian McKellen would go to like nude beaches all the time. Like that is like the 2 things that he took away from X2 are just hating
I mean,
makeup and loving nude beaches.
and that makeup's so hard too because it wasn't just that they painted his skin blue. It was all the fucking crap they put on him. The tattoos and the engravings that Nightcrawler had in that film. Like that shit took 20 times longer, I would
Yeah, but
think, than the
I
fucking
would
blue skin. And
no,
like if
no.
I feel like if they had just painted his fucking skin blue and let him be blue, maybe Alan Cumming would still hate the makeup and whatever, dude. But like, please, man, like that would
Well,
have been
so
way more tolerable. But the
oh,
fact that he had to do that fucking all the blue skin, and then they did all those annoying engravings that really shouldn't have fucking been there anyway, because that's not a thing for Kurt. I want his
mhm.
skin all blue, guys. All blue, and none of this other weird shit that you're doing to try to justify it. He is a blue furry boy. Let him be.
That is tea. That is 100% tea. I will say, I want to talk about the fairy thing in a second, but I will say that I would feel worse about it. I would feel worse about it if there wasn't a woman who was literally being painted from head to toe blue the whole fucking time and it was her second movie. So this kind of reminds me, sorry, I'm going to go off on a little feminist bent for a second, but this kind of reminds me of like men who are like there's nothing worse than getting kicked in the balls and women who are like I birth babies. Like what like guys, or like the man flu where it's like
Right.
men get a sniffle and they're like I can't go to work and women are like literally dying of COVID and they're like it's okay, I'll take care of the baby. Like it's just
Right.
it's kind of funny to me is all I'm saying. It's like, the woman, it's
Yeah,
like
I agree.
the woman, it's her second movie being painted blue from head to toe and she's ready for the third. The man has had to be painted blue for one scene from his waist up and he's like I'm done, guys. I'm tapping out. Can't do it. Can't do it.
It's too
Can't do it.
much.
Too
This
much.
is so much. Like as an actor, like I know I have to do really intense things, but this isn't what I signed up for. You literally signed up to play Nightcrawler, who's fucking blue from head to toe, dude. Like
Guys,
you, you don't
like
need to be an X-Men stan to know that.
like Rebecca Romaine is pulling blue out of crevices she didn't know she had like 6 months
And
after
she's
she
naked
wrapped.
the entire time. She doesn't even get to wear clothes when she's dressed like that.
I
Like you
mean,
say, she's probably got shit in her vagina going up there, and she's
oh my
also
god.
got all those little markings on top of the blue they painted her with.
Oh yeah.
And you don't hear her going, oh man, that was the worst thing ever, and complaining every chance she gets, which, by the way, full props to her. She's the queen. Anyway.
She is fantastic. She's great. To be fair, I do think that eventually they got her a blue suit, but I don't know. I want to give her more props. Let's just give her all the props. I love her. Rebecca Romaine, get it.
Yeah,
She
facts.
married Jerry Connell. You can't hate on that. They got twins now. So,
Ah.
she's practically Wanda Maximoff at this point.
You just reminded me of something else I want from Kurt. I want him to get a family. Next question.
Girl, oh my God. Okay, we're not like, let's not even get into that because we have a whole podcast that we're going to dedicate to that. A whole podcast we're going to dedicate to that. Yes, but 100% he needs a family, and it needs to
And
not be with his sister.
that's not even just like a wife or kids or whatever, right? That also means, kind of like you said, Wolverine's his best friend. Where the fuck is that friendship? And again, even if, because I'm actually a fan of, in the MCU, not having Logan again, because why would you don't need anybody to play Wolverine Logan again after Hugh Jackman did such a phenomenal job. Use Laura, but you could also make a huge friendship between Laura and Kurt in the films. Even if that's not the comics, I have no problem with that. But Kurt deserves a very solid friendship. I would still like him to have a very amazing close friendship with another male character. That does mean a lot to me too. But like, he needs something. He needs his very close bonds. He loves incredibly hard, whether it's romantic, platonic, or otherwise. And we have not seen that, I don't think. Loving to that extent without it being attached to some weird religious cult shit that doesn't make sense.
100%. I totally agree with you about, the relationship with Wolverine is so fucking important, and I don't understand why it has been just not even considered in the movies. Like like I said, in the original one, it felt like they would have gone there if they had had one more movie with him. But then when they brought him back as a kid, it was just like, well, clearly they're not gonna do it now, like he's a kid. So, it just felt, yeah, it just was very, yeah, I desperately need that. I want that friendship with Wolverine. And I just want to point out, like, you bringing up the idea of Laura. So it is, we'll talk about this in a future episode, but I'm just going to drop a little TJ teaser. So a little Nocturne teaser. It is canon that in another dimension where Nightcrawler has a child, that Wolverine is essentially her third parent. Like, that is canon. There's like a cute scene where she's like describing like that her parents had to decide if they were going to send her to public high school or if she would just stay at the Xavier Institute, and they decided they wanted to send her to public high school, and like the only one who didn't want to send her to public high school was Logan, as if he fucking had a choice. Like, 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 it's like, you're not her parent. But no, he was the one who was like, no, we're not sending her. And they were like, you don't have a choice in this, dude. Like, you're not her parent. But so for me, that tracks the other way. It totally tracks for me that Kurt would have a special relationship with a child of Logan's that Logan also had a relationship with. Because of course, like,
Yeah.
Logan is not a father the way Kurt is. So, like,
No,
Kurt,
and honestly, that makes sense. And I didn't think about that. And I actually do love that. Like, I think that would be terribly ironic and in character and great, right? If you had that happen, and then on the other end though, once Logan's like, hey, here's my kid Laura, and he's trying to make a decision, and Kurt's like, but you can't do that, and here's why, and this is so important, Logan, you gotta take care of your kid better. And Logan's like, what the fuck? You're not the co-parent. Back up, pal. And they just both have this sudden realization of, oh shit, we're both basically like trying to co-parent with each other. Like,
see, I see it like shaking out differently. I see like Laura and Kurt like having to come together to take care of Logan. It's like Laura being like, hey, like, my kind of dad is like super drunk again and like won't get off the couch, and Kurt's like, I'm coming over, all right, I'll get him tucked into bed. All right. Like, that's kind of how I see that kind of relationship shaking out, like, I don't know. I just love it. I love the idea. I've seen so much fan art of people. Someone recently in the Discord drew such a fucking adorable fan art of Tenia Jean, which is Nightcrawler's daughter, with Megan from Age of X-Man, playing like Tea Party with Logan. Oh my God. Like, so adorable. Like, I need it. I need it. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. Like, this is like MCU phase like 27. Like,
but
Kurt has a
regardless,
family.
it's stuff that
Yeah.
is important to his character, and we hope will happen, right? But yeah, let's narrow it down for the last couple minutes. I think that would be a good idea, right? If we were to get an X-Men film of some sort, right, and Kurt was in it, what do we need in his first appearance in the MCU? Just his first appearance, the first film he's in. What do we need from him?
So here's my like list of needs, right? He needs to be German. I mean, he needs to be blue, right? He needs to look like Kurt. No scars. He needs I don't he needs fangs. I don't want like a whole mouth of teeth. Like no, he needs fangs. Um he needs to be good looking. He needs to have a good physique. Again, guys, this is not me thirsting over a comic book character. He's a fucking like he's an
He's a
aerialist. Like
right.
he
He's a fucking acrobat. He's literally an athlete.
he's an acrobat. Like he's not even it's not even like he's an Olympic level acrobat. Like he is a really good like so he should have a good physique. He shouldn't be like a doughy looking like fucking Kurt. Like no, he should be have a good physique. So, but like he should be a swordsman. He should be fucking fun. He should be fun loving. He should be a jokester. He should be a comedian. He should be really really happy with who he is. But at the same time, he should be fallible. He should make mistakes. He should do and say stupid things. He should let his dick do the talking sometimes because he does that. And he
But and I want to clarify on that because I agree, but that doesn't mean when Kurt's fallible, it's not because he is, if he lets his dick do the talking. It's just because, again, he's also human like the rest of us,
yes.
and that we can all be persuaded. Sometimes it's like, oh, I probably shouldn't sleep with this person. And then we're like, oh, but I kind of want to. And then horny brain takes over. Like, I feel like that's what you mean by that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I think of when I think, like, yeah, Kurt's dick shouldn't is
I,
sometimes gonna do talking because, and that goes back to the fact that his character, he is a sexy character. I don't care if you're one of those people that's like, ew, but he's a tail and he's technically furry, so if you like him, you're a furry. Shut up, he's sexy. I don't care what you want to call anybody that thinks he's sexy. He is a sexy dude, and he
this
is
is
supposed to be. And he is so in touch with his masculine and his feminine side that everybody thinks he's hot.
and
And
this is
that's
not
his thing.
and this is not like us being like, oh my god, we've read this and we think he's sexy. No, no, this is like canon, like on the page. These are the way that characters react to him on the page canon, and we're going to talk about this and something we're going to record a little bit later, little nugget we're going to record. But and yeah, we'll post it later too, and you'll get a little nugget to where we'll expound on this a bit more. But you know what? Before we kind of wrap up, I have one thing that I feel like might be contentious, and I feel like we might fall on opposite sides of. Um, I want to know from you, how important is it to you in the MCU that he's furry?
I mean, that's hard because I feel like even in the comics, he's called a fuzzy elf and he's called these things, but you don't always actually see his fuzzy texture that he's supposed to have, or his furriness or whatever. I'm not I'm not dead bent on the fact that I have to see fur very visibly on him, and I'm not even sure how good that would look, to be fair. I'd have to see the design. Like, I'm gonna be straight up honest. So, but if you ask how bent I am on that, I'm not completely bent on that because, in all honesty, even in the comics, I think when characters call him a fuzzy elf, including Logan and stuff, I think part of that also is just it's a representation of his personality. He's a big fuzzy elf by the end of the day. He's charming, he's flirty, he's silly. Sometimes he is a little too cocky, but at the end of the day, all he cares about is taking care of other people and making others feel good. That really is it. And he does that through many things, religion, through just being a good person, and all these things. So I'm not bent on him physically being furry in terms of I see fur, but I'm also not like, oh god, like if he's furry, that's gonna look terrible. I just don't know how it would actually look.
I'm surprised because I thought you would be like, no, he has to be furry, because I totally agree. I don't want them to be like, we need to wait until we can figure this fur situation out to like introduce him. No, just bring him in blue skinned. It's fine. Like, I don't need him to be furry. His initial design was not furry. His initial design was a blue skinned guy, and the
Mhm.
fur only came about because Patty Cockrum came up with the idea with the fur. And it came up because someone asked, well, what does blue skin feel like? And she said, well, it feels like blue velvet. So it was never really specifically like he's supposed to be furry. He's not like Hank. And that's what I worry about. Remember X-Men First Class with the Care Bear outfit that Hank was wearing? I don't want that. I do not want that. And let
Yeah.
me tell you, they have not done it well since then. The best they've made Beast ever look was in X-Men The Last Stand. That was the best they've ever made Beast look, and it wasn't even that great. But like,
Yeah.
that was the best. So I'm just like, just blue skin is fine, guys.
Yeah.
Blue skin is fine.
And I mean, if that was Patty Cockrum's wordage in terms of feels like velvet, that doesn't sound furry to me. That's just the physical feel. That's not how it looks. And I think people just went off on whatever happened with that. People went off and interpreted it as furry and stuff. But yeah, I disagree. I think his skin does feel different. And I think Mystique's skin could even feel different, right? But I don't think it looks so different, right? Like, it, again, it looks just like blue skin. But maybe
Yeah,
if you touch it, it's like, oh my God, that's like a whole different level, which we can talk about in other episodes. But yeah, like, yeah,
tell me
I'm
about it.
with you on that.
Girl, tell me what happens when you touch a girl. Tell me.
After dark, Lisa, after dark.
Welcome to Simply Amazing After Dark.
I'm gonna have to
I'm
get a better mic so I can do that voice.
yeah, I'm your host, Nocturne. I feel terrible.
That's amazing. You know what? I would love a scene where Kurt talks like that in
What?
the MCU, and that's what I'll end on.
See, come, Fräulein. Come touch my, come touch my skin, Fräulein. I am. I apologize to Germany as a country. I apologize. I've been in you several times, and I love you so much, but I apologize. That was a terrible German accent.
That's what she said. All right, Lisa.
And on that note, thank you all so much for joining us. Hey, if you like what you hear here, please just rate us, subscribe, listen. There's you can rate us on Apple. Give us a 5 if you love us. Give us a 4 if you hate us. I don't know. Whatever. However it works, rate us.
Fives. The tell us, give us your stars, and then tell us specifics if you're willing and able to. We really would like to hear exactly what you guys would like to hear on the cast and stuff. If you like
Yes.
us getting more crazy, if you like us focusing more on the history stuff with Kurt, we want to know what the heck you guys want. And if you have Twitter, find us on Twitter at Simply Amazing Pod. That's simply and then
Yeah, we're missing
AMZINGPOD.
one of the A's there. We're missing one of the A's.
Bother us on there, please, because we want to hear more from you guys. We want to be able to have more of these conversations, not just between us two, but with you guys. And
Yes.
we're hopefully going to be doing some amazing giveaways if you haven't noticed already. So you should definitely check that out.
Yes, we do actually have a really cool giveaway going on right now. We're going to be giving away something really special. So check out the Twitter. Again, it's at Simply Amazing. That's AMZING pod. Again, just want to make sure there's an A missing there. So, we got some giveaways going, and we got some guests lined up coming up soon. Really, really exciting.
Yes.
If any of you guys have like a burning passion to talk about Nightcrawler or anyone related, please let us know. We'll have you on. We're happy to have you. Or if you want to hear us talk about anything, let us know what you want us to hear us talk about. We'll talk about it.
And I want to say, in regards to the guests, because this is something that both you and I, Lisa, feel so passionate about, you don't have to be a Kurt stan or know everything about Kurt to come on here. If you even just want to come on, you have a topic and you're like, I want to know more about this. Can I come on and talk about with you guys? We're going to be more than thrilled to have you on, because this is not just a pod for the stands. This is for people that want to just learn more about Kurt, or somebody that just finds this shit interesting, or if you just like making fun of us. I don't care. This is a great time for everybody, hopefully.
I really want someone to come on and just tell me I'm stupid. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. I would love someone to come on and be like, I know nothing about Nightcrawler. Tell me everything, so I can be like, oh, let me tell you all about his sister.
And yeah, I'm just having a great time with this. Y'all can find me on Twitter at friendly MBHDBI. Come bother me directly if you'd like. You can find me on Instagram too. Lisa, where the heck can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm at the OG Nocturne. That's NACHTURNE. I'm also on Instagram. I don't do much on Instagram, but you can find me there. Mostly I post my dog. And that's just Nocturne. That's NACHTURNE. So you can find me there. But yeah, we also have a little Night Scrawlers board on Facebook where we post some stuff and have some fun things going on. And we have our Discord. But you can find us on Twitter. We'll invite you to the Discord. That's where we're doing our giveaway. So that's the special important stuff. So, but yeah, most important thing, giveaway, and also like, rate, review, subscribe, and we'll see you after dark, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this simply amazing day.